Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Listo, vamos, estamos, listo. Estamos en vivo.
Vamos.
Are we live? Did you check? Check. Hola, hola. So, guys, we're here in the IBC Summit. I'm quite excited because we have the one and only Crypto Mega, Crypto G, and the whole team. We also have Richard there behind scenes, always
Yeah.
supporting. Megan, thank you so much for coming to the show and congratulations for all your success. Can you tell everybody that's watching right now, Money in Life, who is Mega? Crypto Mega.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. I've seen you all over the show. I love your show. I'm a big fan. So this is exciting. There's so much energy here. It's really cool to see, especially when we're on the brink of the collapse of the banks and all the things happening that people are just so excited right now, regardless of what's happening in the environment. So my name is Crypto Megan. I'm a high-end crypto and NFT consultant, and also on a world tour right now, currently speaking at all kinds of events, educating people on Web3, crypto, advocating for women.
Megan, how was life before crypto? It was easier, challenging, boring. How
Life,
was it?
life before crypto was like lacking a purpose.
Okay.
I mean, I'm telling you, this movement has filled something within me that I can't even explain. You know, it's just so gratifying to have this type of freedom and to help other people have this type of freedom. It's just amazing.
And what you used to do before, and when did you start on crypto?
Yeah, so I found out about crypto a while back in high school, actually, from a friend of mine.
Wow.
Yeah, right when it launched, and stupidly enough, my head was in other places. I was a high school kid. I didn't pay much attention to it. But he was talking about this new coin that you could buy online, but you couldn't buy it anywhere then. It was like you had to go into like the terminal of your computer and do all these weird things.
It
So
was weird to hear about
yeah,
crypto
and that
before.
speaks to like accessibility, and
Yeah.
you know that's why it wasn't adopted. And so some years later, I did a master in Spain, in España.
In España,
Yeah. In 2009, founded by the president of Google at the time.
founded.
Yeah.
So you
Uh,
were funded by President Google.
Yes,
Wow.
and it was the first class, and it was actually to digitize companies.
What?
So, like, Spain was pretty much brick and mortar in 2009, and so they wanted to work on the digital strategy. So I was a founding member of that master, and then some years later, we had a class reunion, and they
Yeah.
flew out some blockchain developers to give a
What?
talk to our class reunion. And I'm looking around, I'm like, are you guys hearing what I'm hearing? This is mind blowing. And so that like planted the seed, and I just went for it after that. I never came back up out of that rabbit hole.
And now we're here.
And now we're here.
2023, having massive success. And you are one of the, okay, you're a keynote speaker, crypto NFT consultant, and advocate for women in Web3. Very
Right.
important.
Yeah.
How do you think this space has evolved over time for women, and what do you expect to see in the near future?
Well, this is one of my favorite questions. And actually, Tim Draper, who I'm going to have as a guest as well in my upcoming
Amazing.
podcast, he says that the next bull run will be powered by women.
I think so.
And I fully believe this. He claims this because of spending power, but I see it in the flesh. I see the energy. I see the need for this education among women and how hungry they are to learn and to step forward. But the thing is, like, we haven't previously fulfilled these roles
Yeah.
in other sectors like finance and tech, and suddenly it's an inclusive atmosphere where women can step up and take their space and have a career in here and learn how to manage their own finances and invest. And I think that's amazing. And I want to teach them to do that, and also to give them the courage to come forward and take their space here.
Obviously, you've been long time in the industry, and you are advocating for women to join. But if somebody wants to join now, what do you see in a project, in NFT, crypto, and a blockchain? What do you see in a project? What would you tell somebody that you're joining, where to go? Like, what are the tips that you give them?
Yeah, I would say obviously starting with an education is key. I didn't invest at all until
Yeah.
like a year and a half after starting my research. Like, that's the truth. And I think
1 second.
Oh.
Se ha ido.
Oh.
But no, the mic is still going. We're still here, guys. We're live with a camera.
yeah,
Stay with us.
we're still got amazing energy.
La batería, no? Maybe we're too hot.
Yeah, we're too hot to handle. Coming in hot.
Yeah.
Too much energy.
Too much energy. Álvaro, si no, voltea la tablet y te la toca tenerla así la tablet. It's one of those things.
Yeah, you know this happens. But we still, I don't know if we can keep talking.
We can keep talking. Yeah, the audio is still going, yes? We're back.
All right, we're back. We're too hot to
So
handle.
yeah. So yeah, how you research for a project?
Right. So like I said, I spent 2 years researching before I even invested in this
Yeah.
space, and it paid off heavily because I invested at the end of one of my biggest investments was at the end of the last bear market. Although I was in it long before, my biggest one was then, and it's just a matter of patience, getting to know what you're investing in. So many people come into this space to get rich quick,
Yeah.
overnight, to take from the space, and my goal is to get people to learn,
Yeah.
give to the space, and get from the space, right? And so I would say follow people who have credible information, like yourself.
Thank you.
Shows like this that educate people. I've also launched a subscription group to aggregate all the information
Very
so
good.
that people can have one place to go to get information they can trust. It's important to have integrity in this industry. And you and I, people like you and I, who really want to teach people
Yeah.
from quality sources, that's what we need to do. And also joining NFT communities.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that surprised me about Web3 was how amazing everybody was at answering questions.
Okay.
Like, it's like when you go into any other sector and you want to find answers, who do you go
Nobody
to?
wants to give the
There's
information
nobody
away.
there. There's nobody there. And then when you join these communities in Discord, I've spent a lot of time in Discord getting to know people like Boss Beauties, for example. That is an incredible
Boss
Discord.
Beauties.
And Lisa Mayer is just so amazing. She got funding when she was pregnant. Every investor told her no because she was pregnant, and she kept going, and she finally found one that would invest in her. And so, the community is amazing. Doodles, World of Women, they're all so inclusive, and they're very helpful. They'll answer the questions.
Amazing. So you're very advocate about NFT. I can see you're very passionate about it.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about the world of cryptocurrency and NFT, and how the role of women play for that? How you can help as a women to get all these misconceptions out of the way?
Well, a lot of the stories that make it to the news, which I'm not a fan of, I try not to watch the news.
Yeah, I don't watch
There's
news.
so much manipulation, misconception.
Don't watch the news.
The news doesn't want you to win. And the thing is, in Web3, we want you to win.
Yeah.
We want you to feel empowered. We want you to have freedom. And so, I try to stick to, the principles of space. So a lot of people, what they hear are scams. They hear it's just, oh, see, the FTX thing happened. Even people close to me who know how much I know about this space came to me and says, see, I knew this was a scam. Look at FTX. They are not representative of this movement at all. I think people need to just spend less time watching the news and more time learning from people who know about the space. And this is about having sovereignty over your money, being able to do with your money what you want, invest into amazing collections that allow you to have a networking. I'm in Bored Ape Yacht Club. A lot of people have misconception about that. They call it the monkeys. Oh, see, this is just like monkeys talking about money all the time or whatever. No, it is some of the best networking I've ever done in my life. And we actually have a group within that called Bored Ape Ladies.
Bored Ape Ladies.
There's like 100 of us that are in the group, and we're called Not a Plus One.
Not a plus one. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
So, we're empowering each other. It's very cool.
Not a plus one. You should have a.
Because we go to the parties and the guys are like, they call you bro and homie, and they're like, oh, so whose plus one are you? It's like, no.
Here's my plus one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So that's funny, but it's true. Okay. Do you think the world now? Okay, we're in ABC Summit. We have seen amazing project. We had Gary Vee yesterday that we met.
He was amazing.
It was amazing, and we have seen many events this year. A lot of stuff is happening right now, even though. After what happened with FTX last year, people are still pushing, people are still driving, people still want to innovate. So I think FTX area of a bad weeds, let's call it like that, not very good people.
Yeah.
And now we can see people very responsible now with their projects. But do you think the world has actually tapped into the full potential of Web3, or we are not quite there yet? What do you think will become like a whole explosion?
We're just getting started. I know that's such a catchphrase now. We're literally scratching the surface of what's possible. I mean, this is like, for me, the great reset. All the stuff we're seeing with the banks, everything that's happening in the world, this is what Bitcoin was designed for, really. And this newfound freedom is going to be a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
And, people are slowly getting accustomed to, like, maybe this is going to be a thing. We all know it. We've known this for years. And in the bear market is the best time to kind of get that knowledge out to people because we don't have the noise. It's time to learn. It's time to get engaged. It's time to build community. So this is literally the surface level of what's possible. And now that AI is becoming more prevalent in society.
Yeah.
This is a bomb. This is like a power booster that's just going to elevate society so much, and I'm so excited for it.
It's going to go crazy. Megan, I met you 2 days ago, and Richard as well. So obviously people see you and they think, because she's just very well spoken and she's good looking, maybe they think it's easy for you to sit on stage. But it's hard, you know? Everything that we do, traveling, networking, late events, waking up early, not eating sometimes, and on
Like
top of,
yesterday.
and being on top of the events, doing our work because we cannot leave the work behind. So can this can do you disclose what is your biggest challenge that you have the last few years to become so successful? What was the biggest challenge that you have this year?
This has been a really big kind of like personal growth
Yeah.
experience for me. And I really like that you bring this up because
Yeah.
people don't actually usually
People
talk
think,
about
no,
this.
people think it's easy.
They don't talk about it. It's very hard. It's hard work. It's a lot of dedication, and it's a lot of like I just have to keep going forward. It's not easy, and you have to just have that like self development process where you put yourself in uncomfortable situations. The first talk we ever did, maybe we were a little bit nervous,
Yeah.
and then we kept going. I mean, you just have to put yourself in those situations that you're uncomfortable in and go for it. And if you get a couple no's here, you'll get a yes eventually. I mean, it's like Gary Vee says, another thing is like the challenge of adding as much value as I can to people, like all the time we put into preparation to be able to add that value to whoever's here who needs to hear it. I mean, this is a whole process and a journey, and we just have to believe in ourselves.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, me as a woman, I do want to speak about this too. I get it a lot where men will come up to me, and not to generalize, but it happens, where they'll come up to me and they'll kind of like talk down to you, right?
Yes.
And make you feel like, oh, but you're not on our level.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether to do it willingly or not. And then at the end they'll be like, but by the way, what's your opinion on? So it's like a big mental game, and you have to kind of take your space, especially as a woman. So to any woman who's trying to like make a name in this space and go for it and work in these positions, I applaud you, and I think it's great. And there are so many men that are supportive, and we just have to keep going and believe in ourselves. That's it.
And congratulations to you and your team because you have a very supportive person behind you as well. Yeah. How's traveling with somebody so close to you, going around? Is good support or?
That's actually another amazing question. These are questions that I don't usually get, but oh man, having that support network is everything. And I know that it's not easy for people to travel together. We're just, blessed and lucky that he has a job, which I hope everybody can have. This is like the freedom of Web3, right? Where it can run online on its own and you can do it remotely. So that's another big thing. And he's been such a support, my husband. And I think it's incredible to see men supporting the women in their lives to shine.
So I think, just going back a little bit, what you say about some people in the industry look at down the women. But I see now when I go to the events, mainly the high position in crypto and exchanges, they're all women. They're driving the industry, and especially in marketing, and now in blockchain and developing as well. I see so much, and I like it.
Yeah.
And you can see just more women up and down.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to say. Like, that's not necessarily what I encounter all the time, but as a woman, you will encounter it. And I think it's just important just to take your space and be firm in your beliefs and that in your value and the value that you do add. And I see just like AIBC here in Sigma that they're really doing an excellent job in incorporating women and getting that voice there and having so many women on the panels and leading. It's amazing to see.
And in the team, when you go on the groups,
yes,
women, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
And crypto, you all have 70% women.
I love it. I love it.
They work harder than me.
That's so cool.
I'm more smart, you're more organized.
I mean, it's a different perspective, and it's cool to be able to have those perspectives working in tandem now. Whereas before they were kind of like singled out, right? And it wasn't the same. So it's a whole new world in so many different ways.
Megan, before we go, where people can find you?
Yeah, so I'm on social media, Crypto Megan, on Instagram, Twitter, and I have a YouTube channel which I'm revamping and going to launch that podcast within the next 2 weeks.
Oh, can I come?
Yes.
Yeah, I come.
Love to have you as a guest.
And guys, be careful. She will never send you a DM.
No, I have so many scammers. Please, we'll never reach out to you, right? Please just pay attention to the actual username and stay safe.
If you want to get to know Megan, they need to come to one of the events.
Yes, please show up to an event. I would love to connect with you.
When are you going next?
Next, I'll be in LA for NFT LA.
Okay, when is that?
That's literally the day after tomorrow.
Okay,
so March 20th to 23rd.
Okay, and the last question: what are your predictions for crypto this year?
I think Bitcoin was designed for what's happening in the world
Yeah.
right now, and I think that we may range in these areas for a while, but I am confident in the fact that all the charts show me this that have been studying extensively that we have bottomed out. We may revisit the lows, but we are definitely starting to enter the initial phase of the bull run, in my opinion. So
But remember, no financial advice, do your own research, but I think that's a great opinion.
yeah, no, we're definitely turning things around, and it's I am positioning. I'm acting accordingly, and I'm buying at these levels, and I have been buying. I consider it the golden zone. I think it's going to be a positive year despite all the negativity in the world.
Megan, thank you so much for coming to the show. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
También se habla español.
Sounds good.
Ciao, Álvaro. Thank you. We're going to do a